resurfaced an old injury. It was also so dry that I didn't sweat as much, so I almost overheated a few times. Yeah, that was a hot race.
It's the first time I've ever had a marathon briefing where the conditions were such that we were told what to do should we encounter a rhinoceros or something on the race course. We were given instructions on, should that happen, to stand still, stare them in the eye, and slowly back up. So, between the altitude, the heat, the hills, the animals, luckily I didn't see any. It was just really difficult.
Easter Island was an introspective marathon for me.
This one's going to be really, really different in that it's basically uninhabited here. The scenery and the topography here is just amazing. They seem to get progressively harder. This one had just a lot of hills. I was by myself a lot, so I had to motivate myself. I kind of actually felt what it might be like to be isolated and kind of be in the world of the people that I'm trying to help, but they're so alone, and trying to figure out how to get myself to continue on. I literally had to do that at mile 20. But I did, and I think I came out of this with a pretty good time, so I'm happy.
I have a special place in my heart for breaking it. Not only is it a gorgeous course, but my son ran it with me and Catherine. My grandkids and my husband were there.
You know, I feel a lot of pride right now. I'm proud that she's my mom, and I'm proud that our family is where we are today. And there's quite a mix of emotion.
I think it finally hit me that I wasn't just a crazy grandmother who loved running, but somebody who had a real mission and lots of amazing people supporting it.
A beautiful, spectacular country course. I mean, it was amazing. This one, you ran through, parks and water on both sides. It was exhilarating. I loved this marathon.
The Samson Melbourne Marathon was a ton of fun. Before I even arrived, I already had a group of friends who met me on Facebook. They made donations and asked for Run 7on7.com hats to run the race with. Everybody there was so supportive. Even the organizers had me doing media interviews as soon as I landed.
The people have just been so welcoming, and it's just been a lot of fun because not only the group, but the entire race directors, everybody has just been so supportive. This has by far been one of the most spectacular races in that respect, that the people here have just accepted us and rallied around us. So it's been great. All in all, I completed number 6, so I'm happy.
I am in Antarctica on
Ladies and gentlemen, we have
King
found
George
a lost
Island.
gray jacket. Once again, if you are missing a lost women's gray jacket, please report to the information desk to claim your item.
I still can't believe I completed Antarctica. To say it was brutal would be putting it lightly. There was mud so thick it swallowed your feet and ice that had to be scaled sideways. All that and my foot injury that resurfaced in Kenya was throbbing by mile 13. I felt like I had a nail in my foot and my feet were covered in concrete, but I just kept on going.
The completion of this marathon really took me digging down deep and acknowledging that I might not make it. But what I decided to do was put one foot in front of the other, meet those challenges head on, and no matter what, to crawl my way through to that finish line. Oh my God.
To date, we've been able to raise over $250,000, which will help put over 20 people through Karen's care. As you can imagine, this hasn't been the best timing to be out raising donations. But I'm staying true to my word of raising $1 million for Karen Treatment Centers, and we'll be announcing a new even more extreme mission for 2010. It will require even more training and advice from today's leading endurance experts. So continue to visit run7on7.com for more information on my next heralding adventure. If you can see it, you can do it. And if you believe it, it'll happen. So just dream big.
Still going?
Oh, it's off.
Oh, that's the loop? Okay.
That's it.
I'll make sure. Go.
Thank you. So I'd like to open it up. If anybody has any questions that they'd like to ask me, I'd be happy to answer. The training.
I'll hold on to it for you. That's all.
I'm connected
Flip
here.
that back on and I'll stand right here for you.
There you
Like
go.
a higher body part.
Yeah, there you go. I really weaved it in. I would just kind of plan my day around training. It literally, in my mind, if I created it as a job, if I got up first thing in the morning and did my workouts, usually I'd be complete, for the most part, usually by 11 or 12. And then the rest of the day was free to do all the other household things that I needed to do. So just had to be creative. What, I'm sorry?
What kind of injuries do you have?
The injury that happened, I actually had a torn plantar fascia. At least that was what I was told. After I completed Antarctic, I found out that I also had a stress fracture. So I actually ran from Kenya on every one of those marathons with the torn plantar fascia and a stress fracture. So I was, I was hurting by the end. I was hurting.
How did you heal the plantar?
A lot of different ways. The first thing they tried to do was give me a cortisone shot in it, and that really didn't do much of anything, just masked it a little bit. I finally I had to be shut down. I was out of actually running for 3 months. I did a lot of swimming not swimming, but because I couldn't even do that because I couldn't push off the wall. But I would run in the pool. I did a lot of stationary cycling. I got, again, creative just so I wouldn't lose everything else that I had. The plantar fascia, it just has to kind of go away on its own. It's not much you can do, unfortunately. Anybody else?
What are you going to do next?
I am actually going to attempt to become the first woman to run the 4 deserts in a year. It's going to be this definitely will be the biggest challenge I think I've ever attempted, mainly because you have to carry everything on your back. So they provide you with your water and a tent to sleep in with I think 10 other people in the tent. But I'm training now. In fact, running the New York Marathon is also part of the training. I'm working with some different nutritional items because that's also going to play an integral part in completing those as well, and keeping my pack light so I don't want to take a lot of food. But we are required to have so many calories per day, so pretty interesting.
How does your training differ? Training for like a standard marathon versus something like this?
Training for this, I'm having to incorporate a lot of trail running. I'm actually going to be running an ultra in here because one of the days is an ultra. The marathon, Keith has me doing a lot of the same things that I would do for training for a marathon, but are upping the mileage, doing a lot of runs back to back. Like I'll run New York here, and then I'll be running Philadelphia in 2.5 weeks. In January, I'll be doing a 55-miler and then doing the Goofy Challenge where I'm going to run a 13 one day and a 26 the next day. So it's just getting my body used to, taking on daily, running